spoke with Simon Jordan, former owner of Crystal Palace. Last week, of course, Simon had a bit of an on-air joust on this show with Gordon Taylor about Riyad Mahrez. But I asked Jordan for his thoughts on Taylor's salary.
It can't be justified, not because it's Gordon. I did a piece for The Guardian about this subject matter and said that I couldn't care less if it was the Dalai Lama who was the head of a union. This is the smallest union in the world, where the members don't actually contribute a great deal financially. It's the deal from the broadcast companies via the Premier League that pays the PFA their money. And it can't be justified. It's an example of football kind of eating itself and getting carried away with the fact that it's Planet Football and losing touch with reality. Gordon has done lots of things in the past that have been very useful for football at a time when footballers need representation. Now, of course, we talk about the lower pyramid and players that, we always get focused in on the Premier League and what goes on there.
Yes.
But there are 72 clubs, specifically 48 clubs in League One and League Two, where players aren't earning a fortune. I'm not one of those that goes down the route of saying, well, supporting the idea that it's a short career, because everyone's a short career, Jim. If you don't do your job very well with Sky or talkSPORT, you'll have a short career as well.
Yeah.
So the idea that footballers have short careers and unions need to represent them is a little bit off the pace. But Gordon's salary, to my mind, is a little bit smacking of a fiefdom. I don't want to get too deep in personal comments because myself and Gordon had a debate last week on your show, and I don't want it to be seen personal,
right?
To be seen a personal issue, but there can be no justification for it. It's the smallest union. If you look at unions that have far greater members, and the late Bob Crow, I can imagine that his salary was nowhere near this. So I can't find to defend this kind of remuneration for it to be 14% of the total budget or total income that a union gets on one person's salary. To defend that is defending the indefensible.
Obviously, it begs the question, could some of what he earns be better spent elsewhere, Simon? I mean, the PFA's accounts showed that it put only £100,000 into concussion and head injury research in the year ending June 30. Surely some of that money going to Taylor could go elsewhere.
Well, of course it could. Let's not also lose sight of the fact they put £400,000 into Sporting Chance, which is the addiction clinic that Tony Adams set up. So there are other areas where more money's gone into, and I know that situations like Dawn Astle, Jeff Astle's daughter, will be obviously frothing at the mouth to hear this kind of remuneration. But what I'm surprised about is why this is a bloody surprise. This has been going on for a significant passage of time.
Yeah.
This is a year-old salary, so I would wager you that his salary in the next year will be greater. And that might be me, pontificating. But of course, the union's job is to represent the members and to ensure that those members that need representation have all the available support. If you're taking 14% of the budget or the income that this union has and redirecting it into one person's salary, how can that be serving the members that need support in areas like mental health and the dementia question that's coming as a result of heading the footballs that have gone in the past, albeit, the Alan Shearer documentary kind of dispelled some of that. But it can't be right, Jim. It just can't be right. It's not a witch hunt for Gordon Taylor, but it can't be right.
It can't be right, and it can't go on, can it? I mean, it can't go on, surely.
Well, I think it can go on, and it has gone on, and it will continue to go on. And with respect, Gordon has survived in the position with quite some challenges over things that have gone on with him in the past. So I think he's as tough as old boots. He may well have the brass neck to ride this one out. We mustn't lose sight of the fact there are some very good things inside the PFA. There's some very good people, and Gordon at times has been very useful. But again, a £2.2 million salary made up of I don't know how you get a bonus as a union leader. I don't know what you're bonused upon. But the idea that you get a £750,000 bonus, and people will say, well, come on, stop making it all about money. But it has to be about money because the vantage point of a union is for the benefit of its members, not for the benefit of the chief executive. He's not Jimmy Hoffa. We have to get into the reality of what the PFA is now for. And when we had the discussion last week where he came on to advance the position of mediating the situation with Riyad Mahrez, my God, starting from a position of 2.2 million, he should be doing nothing but fixing people's problems on that basis.
Final one, you mentioned Dawn Astle, the daughter of former West Brom player, of course, Jeff Astle. He died as a result of repeated impacts on the head when he played the game of football, Simon. Dawn Astle, I notice, is quoted as saying he is accountable, Gordon Taylor, to no one and should go and give the job to someone more in touch. Do you agree?
Well, listen, I mean, I don't want to fire scattergun, but I think there is an element of a lack of accountability. I think there's an element of Gordon can... I want to be careful with my words, Jim, but I think there's an element of what Dawn has said is very true. And I think that the salary side of things is almost under Gordon's control. He'll turn around and say that committee members will vote for it, but I'm sorry, there's an element of vested interest controlling its own destiny here. So I do empathise entirely with what Dawn has said.
An element of vested interest controlling its own destiny here. That's the view of Simon Jordan. We pick through the bones of that in a moment. Stay with us. Jim White on talkSPORT.